time I say this story, how I got into real estate. Someone asked me that question today. You know what? Let's just make this story as much as it's beautiful. I want to make the video. This is going to be the same videos that I do, the real, the rawest, and the truth. In my home the first year and already purchased, and I had no idea what to do. We freaked out. Obviously, you learn how to work under pressure, and I think working in a hospital helped me work under pressure. But this was different, you know, flooding and your kids being in danger and all that, and seeing the whole city, like it was just catastrophic and back in this area. Walk around my house. I'm gonna tell y'all the story. So when my house flooded, I did not have anyone to, reach out. The only person that I have here until this day is my aunt and my sister. My sister did not own a home back then, but even though she was renting, it didn't flood back over there. So, sorry, I have to get it right here. So one of the things is, my tia did not flood either. She lived in the higher level, so we flooded back here. And the reason that we flooded back here is because of the reservoirs. The reservoirs were released because they were really, really tight in water through the whole city that they had to release them. So, we had to take that hit back here. And, not knowing anything, I didn't know where to reach, I didn't know like realtors were our biggest resource, to be honest. That was just not mentioned to me at all ever. I think it was just realtors just help you, give you a home and that's it. Well, that's how I felt. That's how I was never reached. But again, I can't blame my realtor because again, everybody does business differently, right? So the only person that I would rely on will be my insurance. My insurance person, I have built a relationship through the years. I had no idea about home insurance and anything, but he will answer me questions. I was like, I don't know what to do. Help me out. He's like, you have flood insurance. Call here, call there. And that's what I did. But flood insurance, were giving me the runaround because my house had previously had, a flood event. Yeah, I know. And apparently when the property floods certain amount of times, you have to do something to the structure in order to them to cover it, right? What was hard for me to understand is like, how did you give me flood insurance from the beginning and a year in already my house, right? You supposedly sent a letter saying that you were no longer going to cover my house for flood insurance until I did, elevate my home and they had an elevation certificate. Like how? I just don't understand. But again, insurance or insurance, and we can go on about our day. I'm going to just sit here. So anyway, so I learned that lesson there. So we were with nothing, or flood insurance in the end. They did give us something, but it was not going to be enough, or 2,300 square foot home, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, like needed some work. And we know we needed money. We had just purchased our home a year in. We had emergency savings. Literally, we were rebuilding ourselves and stuff. And we never asked for money, never reached out to family or anything. They would check on us, and I appreciate the people that did. But we were really up. We really didn't have anything. We couldn't pay our mortgage, either pay our mortgage or rebuild our house. And we decided to, call the mortgage company, which the insurance guy told me, call your mortgage company. Something happened. If it was declared, emergency, whatever, he's like, you can defer your payments. And we did. Our mortgage deferred our payments for 3 months only. And they say you have 3 months and then we have to reinstate the payments again. So me and my husband decided, where are you going? Sorry, I can't tell my stories. So my husband said, we have 3 months. That's all we have. That's all they give us. And I was like, 3 months? Who rebuilds a house in 3 months? Like literally we don't even know what to do. We don't know where to start. So my husband's like, I don't care if I have to work extra hours. He already works out of the city, just so you know. So working extra will mean he's not coming home on the weekends. And sure enough, he wasn't coming home on the weekends. He was making more money. The good thing about, instead of the mortgage payment, we would just use that money towards the house. We would buy materials. And I say we because I was the one going to the store. He will hire the people and offer out. We will pray we were not going to get scammed. And I said, I will pray because, I will pray that we wouldn't get scammed. We had to move to a hotel temporarily. The school reached out, helped us out with, with just important things. We left everything back. We only took the dogs. My baby was a baby at the time. My kids were small. They were traumatized. Thank God through the time they've healed. We prayed over things. But every time it would rain, they would be scared. They'll be scared. They think we will flood. And I was scared too. But you know what? I was new in the city. I was like, nobody seems to be bothered. Everybody seems to just, adapt. And it does have to do, fear. It does have to do with you people you surround yourself with, right? I was scared because everyone was scaring me. All my family was calling me in Dallas and what's wrong and this, my brother and my sister. And I was like, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. But then I will be here and I'm like, man, people in Houston are just, sweeping it under the rug. They're like, okay, let's clean it up. Let's do this. Let's help each other. And I noticed so much community involvement, just random people helping you out. Same thing, when I had to be a year out. Sorry, I had to, be out of my house. We were in a hotel and then that was more money. And then we didn't have a grocery. So we had to spend money on food and, driving the kids to school because their cars flooded at this time. So remember, we have very limited cars. I think we had one car at that time while we submitted our claim. So like I said, I can keep going. It's just a long story. But in the end, that's how the little seed started with real estate, which is, working under pressure, getting things done in certain time, pushing, deadlines, pushing this, calling here. And I feel like that's what really has helped me mentality to be able to, survive in real estate. I wouldn't say necessarily, oh my God, it's so bad survival, but there's just so many things that goes involved in just, it's not showing a home, write a contract and let's go. There's so many contract deadlines. There's so many things that you need to protect your clients, flood areas, school zone. A lot of things go behind one transaction that, I think it's just funny to say when people call me and like, oh, can you show me this home? I don't even laugh anymore because honestly, first of all, I understand. It's just educating the community that things have to be done differently now, have to be done the right way in order for them to work. And I'm glad that we have to have contracts now. I've always had contracts from the beginning because I understand the importance of it. But showing homes with no pre-approval and you don't know if those people are going to be serious. I mean, we work on commissions. You get it and you think, oh my God, you probably make a lot of money. Well, the money that we make, we've been, working hard for it. And not only that, we have to pay our brokerage. And if you're part of a team, which I don't mind paying my team because my team has my back whenever I need it. Everything I've been able to know to this point is because of my team, because of great brokerage and a great team. It takes to build a good realtor. And a realtor, wanting to pursue education and helping and having a heart. And it's not about, an amount or, oh my God, I have all these sales. It is never about that. In my end, is just everything is going to take care of itself. Just having heart and really, and I would say not necessarily enjoying, but learning through the moment. And because I learned through, very, very hard rebuilding my home, not having anyone, that's why I'm the resource that I am. Because no, it's not just, oh, I'm a realtor. Yes, now I know so many people. If I don't know, and I tell everyone this. If Elia doesn't know something, she'll find who does. I am sure that I'll figure it out and I know someone that does. Because I know what it is not to have anyone. I know what it is to try to figure it out on your own. I know what it is to burst down and crying. You don't know where you're going to get that money from next. It's going to be coming. I know how hard we work for our money. And that's why Elia, she is who she is. Started with my house. And that's why when people hire me, I don't take it lightly. I take it to heart. I know you work hard for your money. I know you work hard to make the decision. I want, people to feel good. I want people to feel trusted that Elia is going to do her best to make sure that you get into your home. Make sure that, you don't get scammed. You don't get told things, I had to, I had to switch. My camera died. But anyways, I'm still living in my first home. I just have, I could tell you that my life, I wish I could tell you, oh, my life is perfect. No, my life's not perfect. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. We have a tree we knocked down because we were scared it was going to fall on the house. So that's why we have no shade. I have an old septic tank that needs to be switched to the newer ones, which I said they're pricey. So it's working. Okay. The guy says it's working. Why change it? But anyway, like anything, you want to take care of your house. You need to do these things in order for, your value of your home, not just let it go. House need love, house need care. And, some days Canela, what the hell are you doing? Anyways, we also had a shed here at one point, and we no longer have it over there. I buried one of my dogs that got sick. I'm sorry. Rest in peace. I don't know where he's at. But we did a new shed here. So this is what we have, just a storage, because we wanted to. So we're eventually going to move so we have the septic tank next to the house. We want to move it eventually here in this area. Just kind of, Anyways, one of my coworkers gave me this. Oh, sorry. One of my coworkers actually gave me this plant right here. If you know the name, let me know. I don't know. But it's very nice. It blooms and it comes and goes. But it's there. But anyways, my camera is hot. It's a crazy day today. I need to go inside.